Good evening and welcome tonight to the CWI Law Enforcement Program graduation for Class 8. My name is Leroy Forsman. I'm the director of the College of Western Idaho Law Enforcement Program. It's my distinct honor to welcome you to the graduation ceremony tonight. Please rise, place your right hand over your heart, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may take your seats. Thank you. What a unique and special opportunity we have this evening. We're one of the very few college programs anywhere to be able to conduct any actual formal graduation ceremony, and we're honored to be in this position. I'm grateful to the College of Western Idaho and the President's Cabinet for giving us this opportunity tonight. I know this plan, as difficult as it may be, was scrutinized by myself, my staff, my bosses, and all the way to the top in the college, but I'm grateful to our leadership. I'm grateful for the trust that they gave us to see it through. We're also very grateful to the City of Nampa and Nampa Police Department, Chief Joe Huff, Lieutenant Jamie Burns, and the volunteers that you saw outside for their assistance tonight. Because of the relationship we have between our program and Nampa Police Department, we're able to be in a climate-controlled, secure event for this evening, and we're grateful for that. Ross, Judd, Ashley, the people that are helping in support roles tonight, thank you so much for being here and making this work for us. We're live, but we're also live streaming. So we're able to put this out on the CWI Facebook page for those who couldn't be with us tonight due to constraints on how many people could be here. We're grateful for what we're doing. With that in mind, the social distancing rules that are in place, masks that are in place, all of these unique things, I appreciate everyone supporting us and doing these things to help us get through this strange time. It was unique to tell this class that there would be no handshakes, no hugs, no fist bumps, no toe taps, no anything, because this is a class that was very tight during their entire time. I appreciate them doing this and understanding what we have to go through just to make this happen. I will also ask that audience members, you stay in your seats. If you want to take a picture, you can certainly stand up, but please do not move around as we have 6-foot social distancing rules in place. Once the ceremony is over, I would ask you to stay in place until the student you are here for comes and gets you and removes you from the building. Again, the rules that we have to go by tonight. Thank you for assisting us with our protocols. Class 8, wow. It's been nearly a year since we met the first time, and we had that meeting in July. There's been some dramatic changes since you began. This class has endured some strange things. Earthquakes, ongoing pandemics, closure of traditional classes, and you've been around to witness some social unrest, or as we refer to it in policing, an average Tuesday, okay? You'll come to find that that's the way it is. Just when you think everything is normal, you'll find that there's no such thing as normal. And you'll roll with the punches, and you'll accept it, and you'll fix it, because that's what you do. Our class has been physically apart since March 12th. We haven't seen each other with the exception of some computer meetings, some Zoom meetings, back and forth. Some of you have changed a little bit. Some of you have mentioned that I've changed. Okay, I haven't cut my hair since February, okay? I don't intend on cutting it for the rest of the summer. It is my choice, and that's what I'm going to do. Thank you for most of the nice comments, students. For the two that did not have nice comments, I appreciate your candor, and I've also arranged for you to join Class 10 starting in August. Thank you very much. As we move forward, I would like to introduce Kevin Platts, the Director of Public Safety Programs and retired Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal. Kevin?
Thank you, Chief. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I appreciate all the family members being here with us and able to share this, and the ones that are on the live stream as well. I think that's the thing of my 33 years in law enforcement, and I was raised in a military family whose dad was a fire chief for 32 years, is the family. So I really appreciate the family bearing with us, and this is a go, and no, it's not, and this is what's changing, and this is where we're at. But like Chief Forsman talked about too, is the way the college supported us for this. They know what this cohort has been through together, and the last time I think I saw everybody was the physical fitness testing. So that was a different scenario there too, to do that. I think in the law enforcement world and in the fire world where I grew up in, and that's why I drew towards the fire world, is that we are a family. And that's what you're embarking on, and you learned that back in July when you first met. We are a family, and you'll remember these days. You're giving me chills right now because I remember the first time I got sworn in as a deputy sheriff and as a deputy marshal, those so many years ago, but you're flashing me back until I look in the mirror and then I realize really what I am, but it is the family that is there. So I'm sorry we can't do the hugs and the fist bumps and the high fives and everything like we're used to, and introduce family that may have not known each other, but that you grew tight with each other and would like to introduce your family that way. But this is something that we're so proud of to be able to do today. I appreciate everybody with the rules that we have to follow and things that we do, but it is such a tremendous day, and it brings back that really family experience. And I appreciate the family that is here. I can still see my family coming in because I told them I was going to be a civilian consultant to law enforcement when I got sworn in as a deputy sheriff because it was a different time for my family. And also when they drove up to Glencoe, Georgia to be sworn in. It's that family that we got to spend together. So hopefully once this is all kind of relaxed, we can all get together again. But again, thank you for being here. It is a family. You're embarking on a tremendous career. I really look back at it and think about it as if they wouldn't have paid me more than it cost $1 a day to come to work, I would still have come because of the family and the people that I got to know in my academy class that were my brothers and sisters in law enforcement that backed me up. And even to this day, my phone's gone off 5 times tonight, people checking in with me that you have from this law enforcement family that you're joining tonight when the director gives the oath to you. So I just wanted to point out that it is the family that makes it work. They're the ones that supported you. They're the reason that you're here today. But it's also your distinction to now represent your family when you join into this career. At this time, it's my great pleasure to introduce our president of the college, Dr. Burt Landon. He has been supporting this program since Leroy started it. He's the reason that we're here today. The President's Council supported that, what Director Forsman talked about, but he's always been here for us, and it is a great pleasure. Not every graduating class gets to see him, and he let us do this today, and I can't thank you enough, President Landon, for being here. So at that time, over to Dr. Landon.
Thank you. I got to tell you, it's really a thrill to see real people. I average about 5 to 6 Zoom meetings a day, and if you had to do that for any length of time, your eyes go a little flittering. I want to compliment your professors and your director. We were thrilled when they came forward. We did not have a graduation face-to-face with real people. We had real graduates, but I mean, we didn't have a formal graduation. This is a great opportunity, and we were really thrilled when the professors came forward from this program and said, we will figure out how to do it. We will do it with social distancing. We'll do it with face masks. We'll make sure that we comply. So I want to thank them for not only bringing the plan forward, but executing and implementing. So thank you very much for that, because it's really a big deal. Parents, friends, and family, thank you so much for coming today. I know it is really different. I know it is a real inconvenience. This is our new normal. But I have to tell you, graduates, this is your day. And we are so proud of you. One, for your dedication, commitment, and passion in order to go into this profession to serve and protect, but also for your commitment to go forward with this career, which is really challenging times. We don't know what the new normal is, and we still are defining what the new normal is going to be. So I want to congratulate each and every one of you, not just for graduating, but for picking this profession to dedicate your lives to. I cannot tell you enough how much we appreciate what you do and how you do it, what a difference it makes to our society. You are going to make a difference. And you need to know that. And we support you, and we really appreciate your commitment to that. Thank you so much, and congratulations, graduating class of 2020. Good luck in your careers, and thank you so much.
And now it's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker for tonight. You probably never thought this would happen, did you? Wow. Stacy Mallory is a retired lieutenant from the Nampa Police Department, and he and I have had the pleasure of working together for almost the last 32 or so years. Nobody thought we would make it this far, and the jury's still out. So what an honor to have a class specifically request someone that's on our staff, that's on our cadre, be their keynote speaker based on knowing what that person does for them day in and day out. And I don't think they could have picked a better person for this honor tonight. It is a pleasure to introduce Stacy Mallory.
They told me I had to cut this down to just a few minutes, so good luck. First, congratulations. I am very humbled to be asked to be up here. This has been quite a class. I'm very proud of each and every one of you. You've done stellar throughout the year. This year's gone fast, and man, I can't believe it's coming to an end, and I'm not going to see you guys on a regular basis. So this year, I've watched each of you work your way through the program. I watched each of you find your big boy voice in the shooting room and learn some commands, learn some ways of controlling dangerous situations. At times, the commands were kind of colorful, Briggs. Sometimes the commands were non-existent, and sometimes they were right on the money. I remember the first day that we had the shooting room, and we have you guys in it. And that is one of my favorite times in the deal. And I remember when we put you in your first life-threatening encounter, right? Your first truly dangerous situation, and how you stumble and you're trying to process and figure out what's going on. And I compare that to right before we got out for this COVID thing, and we were running scenarios in the shooting room. And at that point, we were looking at some pretty complicated scenarios, right? A lot of components, a lot of options, very dangerous, and you guys were hitting it out of the park. The difference between day one when you rolled in and when we finished the program, if you will, hands-on, your performance was exceptional. You all have the tools and skills to handle some truly volatile situations, and I'm very, very proud of you for how far you came on that. Families, you should be very proud of the work and the commitment the students have shown throughout this year. No one ever gave up. No one was ever left behind. This is the most close-knit class I have ever had the chance to work with, and I've been here since the Academy's inception. This is the tightest class that cares more about each other and helped each other more through the program than I have ever seen. So let's talk about what you're going into. Police work has changed a lot over the years. My grandfather was a police officer back in the 50s. When he started in the 50s, they issued him a revolver, a .30 caliber revolver. And he had like 6 bullets on a little loop that he put on his belt. So when you ran your gun dry, you had to load 1 bullet at a time. And you know from being on the range and through the stuff, being in a gunfight, you don't have that kind of time, right? So we got a flashlight, 1 pair of handcuffs, and no radio, no portable radio, anything like that. So you look at the world you're going into now and what you're going to have to deal with, right? You're going to be expected to go through a lot of dangerous situations. Where most people run from gunfire, you guys are going to run towards it. You'll be expected to make split-second decisions on life and death matters, and you'll be expected to remain calm and professional even when people are spitting on you, trying to hurt you, and the whole thing, right? It's going to be violent. So when you guys get out on the road, get your new police car, you're going to have issued to you a high-capacity semi-auto, and you're going to have about 52 rounds of ammo on you at any given time. I'm going to guess you'll have a go bag in the trunk of your car with another 100 rounds of ammo. You're going to be issued 2 pair of handcuffs, a nightstick, OC, taser. You'll have rubber gloves. You'll have a bulletproof vest, kind of putting in perspective the world that you're stepping out into. You'll have a radio on your belt with a lapel mic and a camera on your shirt to capture everything you're going to do. Your car will probably have an AR-style rifle in it. You'll probably have a shotgun. You may even have a beanbag gun. You're going to have riot gear and a gas mask. Your car will have a computer in it, and it will have a GPS unit, so if something goes terribly wrong, they can at least send the cavalry to your last known location. So having said all that, with what you're walking into, in 2018, there were 147 officer deaths. Okay? In 2018, there were 58,866 assaults on officers. Very violent times. We live in a society where there's a certain amount of the population that are extremely violent. And you're entering a job where you're going to deal with these guys. Now remember that most people out in society appreciate what you do and want you out doing your job. It's the 10% that do not want you out there, and they are more violent, hateful forever. The reason we're not seeing more officer-involved deaths currently are because of a couple things. One is improved tactics and training, right? We watched the Newhall incident, and we don't do that high-risk stop technique anymore, right? We've learned from that. So with better training on traffic stops, high-risk stops, building searches, active shooters, arrest and control, mental health, domestics, we are reducing those numbers, and you guys are all good at those things now. You've had that. Better equipment's made a difference, like better flashlights, body armor, night vision. You know, a lot of police cars have bulletproof doors now, so you can use that as some cover, right? And thirdly, that's helped us so much is better medical. Over the last bunch of years, paramedics now have so much training, they can do so much on the field as soon as they get to you. And life flight. And there are trauma centers in all these populated areas. If we can get officers to trauma centers within the first hour, their survival rate goes up exponentially. So the training you guys have had is state of the art. But remember, never stop learning, never stop practicing, and never stop being vigilant about your safety. I want to leave you with 10 items that I wish somebody would have told me when I started in law enforcement, okay? Number 1, integrity is everything, right? Never lie. Never minimize what has happened. Lying is the one thing in law enforcement you can never recover from. Everybody makes mistakes. If you do, own it and always do what's right in your heart. Number 2, if it feels wrong, it usually is. Good ethics will let you make good choices. Always do what's right, even if it's hard or unpopular. If you witness another officer doing something unethical, deal with it. Do not let bad or illegal behavior continue. Officers have to hold each other accountable. No one hates a bad officer more than a good officer. Number 3, stay away from weak or poor officers. You want to be a top 10%er. Law enforcement officers can be broken into percentages, 3 different sets. Number 1, at the bottom is the list is the bottom 10% of officers. These officers shouldn't be in law enforcement. They're weak in character, action, and deed. They do poor work, and they do not represent what law enforcement is all about. 80% of the officers fall into the middle group. They do good work. They do their job and serve their community very well. They can be counted on to do the right thing, and they represent the enforcement community well. Then there's the top 10%, the top of the food chain. They're always striving to do their best during adversity. They are the officers that volunteer for calls, stay late to finish calls. They take the hard jobs, all while maintaining a positive attitude and a positive demeanor. They do what's right, even when faced with difficulties and hardships. They always go the extra mile. This is what you should strive to be. Number 4, don't get caught up in negative or bad culture. You will find groups of officers that have bad attitudes, or they're too aggressive, or they're not about helping other people. Avoid these officers if you can. This is an attitude that's contagious, and you need to be cautious and not get into that like mindset. Do not be badge heavy. Treat everyone with respect. You can enforce the laws and even fight and still be respectful as you're doing it. Number 5 is talk nice, listen closely, but always have a battle plan. Be prepared to fight if necessary, and remember how fast things go from fine to terrible. We all saw that in all the scenarios, right? If you watch an experienced officer, they seem calm even when things are getting heated. But they're always thinking of 3 different ways to go to battle if they need to. Number 6 is remember that whatever call you're on is a big deal to the victim, even if it's not a big deal to you. When you respond to a cat up in a tree, act like it's the most important call you've had to handle that day. Then call the fire department, wake them up, have them bring a shiny ladder truck out with 5 guys, because they always run around in a herd, and there's nothing more fun than waking up firemen at 3 in the morning. Number 7 is the sharper you look, the better you behave. Look professional and act professional. You are now representing your community and your agency. Command presence is critical. Number 8, never have the mindset that this is not my job. Solve all the problems you can at your level. If someone needs help, do it. Change a tire for someone. Point them in the correct direction. Get them to the correct jurisdiction. If they need a different agency to help them, reach out to that agency for them. It's easier for you to contact the right people and get them coming to help. The more we don't help them, the more they get frustrated because of our lack of help, the worse it reflects on our profession. And right now is not a good time to have it worse than it is. On time is late, right? Number 9, on time is late. Always be early. Boy, that was a big mantra from us, right? 15 minutes early is on time. Be prepared. When briefing starts, you should be geared up and ready to walk out the door to a call if it comes in. Getting called out of briefing is pretty normal. Your duty bag should already be in your patrol car, and you should have done your vehicle inspection for the day, so you are totally ready when something happens. And number 10, finally, have a variety of friends. Cops are like-minded, and they see society different than citizens. If you only socialize with officers, it's easy to become very dark and negative. It becomes easy to see the world through the wrong set of eyes. If you have a variety of friends, you will realize that not everybody every day is assaulted, yelled at, whatever. Keep in mind, you're working with a small percentage of the population, and you will realize that there are a lot of good people out there that appreciate what you do, and they're willing to wade in and help you if something goes wrong, okay? Don't get too wrapped up in the media. It's all about sensationalism. And I would tell you, turn off Facebook, right? Okay. So in closing, remember, be the best officer and the best citizen that you guys can be. Help who you can when you can. You're starting a profession that will absolutely leave the world a better place than when you found it. You will make a difference in many people's lives over your career. You will save lives, and you will be somebody's hero. Stay safe, and always have a battle plan.
At this time, we're going to have a class presentation from Class President Auggie Valdez.
So I think the biggest thing right now is I want to thank everybody who's here, especially the family members. We couldn't be here unless you guys supported us through everything we've gone through. We were here at this program day in and day out, 7 in the morning or 6:45 until about 4:30 at night. And so without you guys, we couldn't be here. But I think the biggest people we need to think right now is the people behind me. They have been here and supported us and made us the group we are today. I have had the opportunity to speak with Kevin Platts at a different event too, and the way he inspires people to support us and push us to be better is quite insane. The same thing with CWI president. I have heard him speak about our class before too, and he truly supports us through everything. He wants to make sure we have everything we got to do, and even we're the only class who gets graduation this year. But also the instructors here, they are the true backbones of us. They think that we are their backbone, but truly they're ours. We couldn't do anything without them or learn anything or pursue our career we want. So with that, with the way they pushed us through everything and made us this tight group, we would like to present to them this picture of all of us together. It truly shows this class and what they kind of push us together to be, and shows how really just tight of a group we are. So with that, we say thank you.
What an odd group. Obviously, some of those are inside jokes for these students. We're still trying to get you a PE credit for that dance, although it's not going to happen. All right, we're moving on to an important part here. We will be doing the presentation of the graduation certificates. To present those tonight will be Senior Training Coordinator Kelly Crawforth. Kelly is new to this position, just came on board from an administrative position a few months ago, and she has been outstanding, and she will really add to our program as we move forward. I appreciate the students' attitude toward Kelly and her attitude towards you. You know how much she cares. What we will do is we'll have one row at a time come up and get their certificates. This will be an opportunity. If you're in the audience and you want to take a picture, you'll need to stay in place. You can stand up, take a picture. The students will give you the opportunity, and as each student comes up, we'll applaud for each student. We don't wait to hold our applause until the last one. Every one of these students deserves our applause. So as this occurs, I'll ask our folks on the stage area up here to stand. We'll remain back here, practicing good distance, but this is your certificate time. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here to support these students. As you've seen from the video, they've worked really hard. They've had fun, but they've worked really hard since last August, and we're very proud of them. I've told several of our students already that we, the chief and lieutenant and I, are very lucky to get to be a small part of your guys' law enforcement journey, and I feel thankful for that as well. To the students, even though you've graduated from the program, we'll be here for you anytime you need us, whether it's for paperwork, a reference, or a word of encouragement if you're having a rough day, because we know in this profession that may happen, but we're here for you. So with that, I'd like row one to stand and prepare for their certificates. Logan Albert. Maddie Blanco. And family, you can take a picture, you can stand, just stay where you are, just a reminder. Jake Briggs. So shy. Kaden Elledge. Dante Huerta. Row 2, please stand and prepare to receive your certificates. Methuselah Kazungu. Lexus Lake. Jonathan Laurie. J.D. Mayhew. Michael Melfi. Parker Miller. Caleb Nolan. Row 3, please stand and prepare for your certificates. Carmen Pagan. Katie Park. Michaela Phillips. Jacob Tapana. Gabriel Trujillo. Auggie Valdez. Good job, guys. So it's tradition in our program for us to recognize students who receive top scores in 3 areas and present these students with an award. Our first award is for top driver. This goes to Gabe Trujillo. The next award is for top shot. This goes to Jonathan Laurie. Good job. Our last award goes to the student with the highest overall academic scores, who has received the top academic scores on tests, and by a long shot, we're happy to announce it's Logan Albert. Congratulations, guys.
In a few moments, I will confirm the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics on our graduates. In 1957, the International Association of Chiefs of Police met and adopted this code. It's been the standard for law enforcement officers ever since to live by. Now, we know that there have been improper actions by a very small number of officers historically, and certainly in current times. We see it every day in the media. My question is, what don't we see? How many good things occur that we never see? How many positive interactions occur that we never see? We understand that the numbers are out there, and it's easy to put something on Facebook or any other medium. But let me tell you that in current times, we typically, 2 years ago, 2018, we saw 16 million citizen contacts. And how many of those turned bad? A very, very small fraction. Now, the problem is we don't see the good ones. We don't see the ones that nothing happens. We only see those bad ones. The small group of people that do these things should never be in the job to start with, in my opinion. They're certainly not representative of the more than 800,000 sworn law enforcement officers in the United States that serve selflessly every day of their careers. You can never tolerate any level of impropriety in this career field. If we're to be at our best, if we're to maintain a trusted cooperation with the communities we serve, you must make a change. How many times have I told you you're the guardians of your communities? There are times when you have to be a warrior. There are times when you are going to be tested physically and mentally, and you're going to have to fight. Look at the techniques that you've been taught during this academy. Look at the things we teach you to minimize the chance of injury to you and the person you're dealing with. Be smart. Use the techniques and use them properly. How many times have I reminded you that you are tasked with making the community safer and better to live in than you found it? I venture to say I said that to you at least once a week, if not more often. How many times have I told you that as law enforcement representatives, we're in some tough times? And how many times have I said it will get better, but it'll get worse first? We're seeing some of the worst right now, but I guarantee it will get better. And how many times have I told you that you will be the change agents to see this through, to make a better world? You will be the group that makes a difference. Our program mission statement is very simple and straightforward. As CWI law enforcement students, we train to be leaders. We have a clear vision that our mission is to protect and serve our communities by exercising the highest levels of ethics, empathy, and energy. We are CWI, fearless. Now, that doesn't mean you'll go out and never be afraid. Fear is a good thing. Fear is a healthy thing. And fear will keep you alive because hopefully it will keep you from doing something stupid. I had a very successful career, as did Lieutenant Mallory. And I can tell you, we've talked about this before. We've been afraid. It keeps you alive. You will make mistakes, but as long as you learn from the mistakes and don't repeat them, you'll be all right. Don't keep it to yourself. When you make a mistake, when you see something wrong, when you see something that you could have improved upon, share it with the people around you so they don't suffer by making the same mistake you did. You simply have an obligation to be your best, and that's what I expect from you. Class 8 at this time, please stand and raise your right hand to receive the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, the peaceful against violence or disaster, and to respect the constitutional rights of all, to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, and will behave in a manner that does not bring discredit to me or my agency. I will maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed in both my personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the law and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature or that is confided to me in my official capacity will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, political beliefs, aspirations, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and the relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear of favor, malice, or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of law enforcement service. I will never engage in acts of corruption or bribery, nor will I condone such acts by other law enforcement officers. I will cooperate with all legally authorized agencies and their representatives in the pursuit of justice. I know that I alone am responsible for my own standard of professional performance and will take every reasonable opportunity to enhance and improve my level of knowledge and competence. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself with sincere and unfaltering commitment to my chosen profession, law enforcement. Class 8, if you affirm this commitment to this code, answer, I do. I do. Congratulations. Your lives will never be the same. You can put your hand down. I wish you courage and wisdom. I wish you happiness. And I know that you'll make a difference. Godspeed on your mission. As I said earlier, I expect great things of you. Never let me down. Never let your community down. And most importantly, never let yourself down. These people behind you have great faith, as do I. Please turn and face the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present graduates of the College of Western Idaho Law Enforcement Program, Class 8. Class, you may be seated. It's been an honor to have you in our class, a privilege to come in there every day and bark at you and yell at you and demand greatness of you. When we're tough on you, it's because we expect more. When we don't cut slack and we seem to be on your case, it's because we want you to survive. We want you to have the greatest, most successful, and safest career possible. This staff loves you. Now go make us safer. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony tonight. We appreciate you being in attendance. We appreciate the support for the students that you've had all year long. And I ask that you support them moving on into the next phase of their lives. It will be demanding, it will be tough, and it'll be the most rewarding thing they have ever done. Thank you very much. Students, if you'll prepare to dismiss and take your family members out. Row 3, Thank you very much. Good night.